Hey there, Tilray traders and investors. It's Rod with the Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Wednesday, February 12th. Hope you're doing well. In this video, we've got an exciting update with regards to Tilray brands. We have some additional filings with regards to institutions, and they have been loading the boat, specifically Goldman Sachs and Vanguard. That's making the rounds right now in social media. It's going off like wildfire, especially on Reddit. And we were talking about this in the Pow Group private community, and it was mentioned in one of my comments on my YouTube videos as well. So we'll discuss all of that and more. There's been a huge change in institutional ownership in the stock, and not surprising when we're under $1 and most retail want to sell. Who do you think's buying those shares? Probably the smart money and the institutions. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. And full disclosure, I do own Tilray, a boatload of it. It's my largest MJ holding by a country mile. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So if we head over to Fintel and scroll down, go to Tilray Brands Inc., scroll down, and if you just go to owners, institutional owners, and scroll down, you can see here all of the institutional ownership in the stock, and you can filter by different columns. Some things are blocked behind a paywall, but if you just go and sort by shares, you can see here that National Bank of Canada owns over 1 million shares. You've got CIBC, JP Morgan Chase, all hovering around 1 million shares. You've got Legal and General Group. Interesting. There's some interesting names in here for sure. YOLO, so ETF. You've got Advisor Shares. You've got some of these big ones, Vanguard. So if you can sort it here. And as the saying goes, I'll park my pennies next to their dollars, so to speak. Bank of America Corp. And nothing in the world happens, Citadel, nothing in the world happens without JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley. That is a phrase I heard a long time ago. I think it was from DAI, actually. But if we just go, these are some of the major ones. So Morgan Stanley owns over 10 million shares, and that was their latest disclosed ownership. And the last file date looks like it was November 14th. And then these are the ones making the round. So Vanguard, you can see here, reports an 11.48% increase in ownership of Tilray brands. On February 11, 2025, Vanguard Group Inc. filed a 13F-HR form disclosing ownership of 4.349 million shares of Tilray brands, valued at 5.785 million USD. So if we scroll down, you can see here that was the last filing date yesterday, February 11th. And now they're sitting at, like I said, 4.349 million shares. BlackRock, their last update was February 7th, and they're now sitting at 2.5 million shares. Goldman Sachs, so this is another one that was making the rounds yesterday and today on social media and specifically on Reddit. On February 11, 2025, Goldman Sachs Group Inc. filed a 13F-H4 form disclosing ownership of 1.445 million shares. So you can see here, total shares, latest disclosed value, just under 2 million. And theirs was February 11th as well, yesterday, the latest filing. And JP Morgan owns a boatload, as I mentioned, 919 million shares, valued at $1.2 million. And their latest update was today, February 12th. So it looks like they doubled their share count. Reported shares, 432,000, 919,000, so essentially doubled it from their last update, and then sub $1. Not surprising to see this happen, right? And it is what it is. Unfortunate for the stock, unfortunate for the sector. The whole sector continues to bleed out. We finally had ACB see some daily consolidation today, but it's still a potential daily bull flag. And we had some CPI data that ran hot. We had pretty much all markets were pulling back, but overall, if you've been covering this channel for a while now, if you've been following this channel for a while now, we've been covering saying that we were more than likely going to be dipping down to around 98 cents, which was a daily bear flag target. We had another bear flag target targeting about 94 cents, and we have a descending triangle target of 87 cents. And we dropped to a daily lower low today. So we have a low, the new low here, all-time low at 91 cents. So if you go from 91 to that 87 target of the descending triangle, that's about 4% away. So again, not surprising to see these institutions loading up around $1 and sub $1. I'm actually loading a lot of MJ, but I'm just being very, very patient. and I'm waiting for most of my crypto profits. I've been saying that for a while now until I sell most of my crypto. My number one crypto holding dollar wise is worth more than my entire MJ portfolio combined, and that's XRP. So I have more money in XRP than I do my entire MJ portfolio, and I own, a dozen or more different MJ stocks. I'll have to do another video on my MJ portfolio update. Let me know in the comment section if that's something you'd like to see in the near future. But yeah, I want to do an update here soon. Maybe I'll wait until I add a little bit more to my TFSA, my tax-free savings account. So for those of you that don't know, in Canada, that's an account that you can contribute. There's a lifetime amount, and then once you contribute the max, each year you get an additional X amount of dollars. This year it was $7,000. So I'm able to contribute an additional $7,000 to my TFSA, and any gains, profits in that account is tax-free. So that's the benefit of that account. And I only used a very small amount of that so far. I think I used like around $1,000 out of that 7,000 so far this year. And I'm just being very, very patient. And like I said, waiting for that 87-cent target. Doesn't mean we'll get there, but I'm just being very, very patient. Again, I've been thinking that big tech, crypto, AI is going to continue to steal the show. And that's more than likely going to be the case over the next few months. If you look at what all the talking heads are saying, what all of the new administration is saying in the US, the biggest economy in the world, everything they're talking about right now really has to do with crypto and AI, right? The crypto AIs are, and we're seeing RFK potentially confirmed this week by the Senate. And if that happens, we're probably going to see quite a bit of rhetoric with regards to psychedelics and MJ and, just drugs and pharmaceuticals. And speaking of which, if you haven't seen my video from yesterday, Trump nominates Terry Cole to lead the DEA. And in that video, I mention the drug talks that were coming soon. And that's directly from the horse's mouth from Trump. And he mentioned that just ahead of RFK Jr.'s potential confirmation this week. So, and then in that video, I didn't have a whole lot of information about Terry Cole. So initially, I posted that video before the MJ Moment article came out, and then everybody was like, no, he's totally anti, right? But, again, with just the research that I did, I didn't see too much anti-stance, but you have to remember that was back in, 2000, 2001. There hasn't been any major updates, and frankly, I don't care who's leading the DEA. It's going to come from the top down, right? And one thing I think the reason why they're going to be very pro MJ is because, they wanted to get a hard hitter in there, and they got bigger fish to fry, right? They're going to be focusing on, and this is one of his campaign promises as well, to get rescheduling safe banking. So he's want to do that. And then shout out to Anthony Martinelli over at the MJ Herald. He said, at the end of the day, not only does it fulfill a campaign promise, he can also say, I did something that the previous administration failed to do or dragged their feet and didn't do it, right? So he can pick up their pieces, so to speak. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But not only that, it's going to create tons of jobs. It's going to create tons of tax revenue. And what else is the government trying to do? Cut needless spending, right? They're getting rid of pennies. Costs them like over 2 pennies to make a penny, right? And then they have the Department of Government Efficiency, and they're trying to eliminate all of this government spending and waste. So what is a big form of waste in terms of enforcement actions? MJ, right? It's medicine. And 88% of Americans in some form of another want it legalized. So in my opinion, it's going to come from the top down. If Trump wants rescheduling, he'll get it done. And this guy's got bigger fish to fry, right? They're going to be focusing on, opioids and, the fentanyl crisis and all these things that, that are really hurting that, that should be on Schedule 1. And then MJ, which has no business beyond on Schedule 1. So I digress a little bit here. I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but I got some pushback on that video. People were saying, oh, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. He's so super anti-MJ. Well, in the video, I didn't have a whole lot of information, and the news just broke. So I was coming out with, the limited information that I had. And then after I posted the video, even MJ Legalization News commented on my video, said, you got a link? So, I think they got like 60,000 YouTube subscribers, and they didn't even see the link. So it was very fresh information, hot off the press. And shout out to the MJ Herald who posted that. And you can check that video for more information. But I did mention that, it was kind of a mixed bag. He does seem sort of progressive, and he was on that. Anyway, check out the video. I won't repeat myself. But then toward the ends, I said I was looking at Grok's recommendation, and it did say that he kind of took a more anti-stance. But, there was some posts that he made on social media and whatnot that was very anti-MJ, but that was before the DEA and the science from HHS came out. And at the end of the day, it's medicine, and these people can kick their the can down the road as long as they want and drag their feet as long as they want. But if you're not doing what the top down wants, you're going to be out of a job soon. And if you're not listening to the science, you just look like an absolute moron, right? Like, why are you saying that it creates all these issues, mental issues and anxiety and depression? It's like, no, it does way more good than harm. And it's a way more healthier alternative than alcohol and tobacco, which we know are poison. So, the writing is on the wall. Again, I'm not too concerned about who's going to be leading the DEA. I think they got bigger fish to fry. They're going to be worrying about, the cartels protecting, the people from, laced things with like fentanyl and things like that. And another reason to legalize MJ, right? There's been traces of fentanyl in MJ, just because, they're in the same room, right? Whenever they're being distributed. So, in my opinion, it just makes a whole lot of sense, especially with this new pro common sense, pro business, pro American people, give the people what they want, pro taxes and pro jobs, and and just eliminating needless spending and waste, right? So I think it's going to come from the top down. I'm not worried at all. I think we're going to see, I'm very confident in 2025 and 2026, we're going to see major reform. And in my opinion, the low hanging fruit is going to be banking and rescheduling. And then I do think there's a possibility that they legalize medical and then leave it up to the states to decide what to do in terms of recreational. But going into there, let me know what you think of this news. Again, I'm parking my pennies next to their dollars. I've never been more bullish on the sector and on Tilray, and I put my money where my mouth is. It's my largest MJ portfolio holding, like I said, by a country mile. I think that it's the best company to own in this sector long term. But again, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. But we'll see. Time will tell all. And I do think Tilray has what it takes to become the global powerhouse, if not the number one company in the space. I think it can easily, just an absolute layup, do top 5, and then very likely that they're in the top 3. And like I said, a pretty good chance as well that they end up becoming the number one company in the space when it's all said and done. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. It's Rod with the Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one.